So in the previous part, we have been able to connect our Redux and also install our Bootstrap, but we cannot be able to use our Bootstrap. So let's go over to that Bootstrap documentation. Before we can make use of that, we need to put this in our app.js file. So our app.js file is found here. So I'm just going to paste that. And also we need to import one more thing from the static folder. We just need to import the styles.css. It's actually going to be created whenever we create or whenever we save this file, okay? So you can see static style.css has been created because we are making use of the node-sass, and you can see this this green text here symbolizing that everything went perfectly. So we are done with everything concerning the CSS and also connecting the store. So right now, let's go over to formidable serverless. So formidable serverless is used to grab something like when you make a post request, something like form values. So this is what we are going to be making use of in order to grab our files. So they have a lot of documentation or a lot of steps you can follow to achieve that actually, but it's kind of more tricky whenever you're working with Next.js. So this video, that's why I decided to make this video and that to educate you on that. So enough of talking. Let me just get back to my code folder project. So right now I'm going to create an index.js file. So we already have index.js file created. So let me just kind of check whether I'm missing something. So I don't think I'm missing anything. So let's just go directly. So we created a wrapper.js file. You can have access to this from the GitHub repository. It's just something we injected into the head, the boost watch, the bootstrap CSS, and also the fonts we are actually making use of, which are just minor things. So this is just like a context. So before we begin, I have to address that I need to speak slowly because somebody kind of complained that he or she was not able to hear me clearly when I'm recording my videos or when I'm speaking too fast. So in the index.js file, I have to bring down what is called a wrapper. So remember that we created a wrapper on the components folder. I have to wrap everything on that wrapper component. The wrapper component is where it contains our head CSS as well as our global CSS variables that we just put there. So the first thing I'm going to do now is to put down an element, div elements, a class name of upload cover, div class name as well of upload top, because that's the top side. Then we actually did not bring in the image, but shortly I'll just bring it in, so don't worry about that. So the image, something like those buttons you saw me use, so that's exactly what you see here. So it's kind of giving me an error sign, I don't know why. I'll go over here, it's body for wrapper. It says, oh, let's just ignore that. I don't really know why it's giving me these red squiggly lines. So beneath there, we just have to first name of upload bottom. Let's kind of save this. Okay, everything still works very fine. Everything works very fine actually, because over here you can see we don't have a problem here. I think it says expected correction is closing tab. So I cannot make mistake in the class name, so that's why we had that a little big error. So I'm just going to come to the bottom, bring in a class name with the upload button because this is the bottom part of it. So inside there we have a class name of lists, and there we have the class name of boxes, the image boxes. So each of those images are actually a box. Then I can now bring in the image. So we have house that has one.jpg, and I can actually copy three of these lines and put them down. So let's go ahead and save our file. Of course, nothing important is going to show because you don't still have these images. So let me just quickly add the images. Right now, let's just check everything that we've done so far. So you can see when we scroll down, we can see all those images and our app is running on normal state. So we don't have a problem with that. I think one more thing I need to do is add something like a spinner icon, but I think it's best when we are done with every other thing we are doing, then we can just do that. So I can come over to the style.css. Let's just go ahead and style the cover. Let me just split this to the right and close every other thing. So we have the upload cover, which is going to have a height of 80 view height with a width of 50%. The margin also, because we want it to be at the center. Give it a background color. That's F5, F6, F6, FA. Then we can give it a padding of 15.5 pixels with a border radius of 8 pixels. So that's it for the upload cover. So but we want to make some considerations whenever we go beyond a certain limit of screen size. So we have to target that with a max width of 768 pixels. So we have a width of 99%. We also have a height 100 view height. So that's it for that one. Let's go ahead and add an upload top class with a height of 60%. Give it a border. Give it a width of 100% and not in quotes. And give it a border style of dashed. So I want it that this upload.svg is going to be on the center. So the way we can do that is to use the flex to display this to be flex. Then we can align every other thing to the center and justify the items to the center. Then we can align the items as well to the center. Let's give it a padding of 2M. Give it a cursor or pointer. So for each of those images are gonna be in a list. All these boxes are in a list. So let's go ahead and bring down our list class. So in the beneath that we have, I think, upload bottom, not actually the upload top. So for the upload bottom, we'll give it a height of 40%, give it a width of 100% as well. But for this one, we give it an overflow of scroll because when we started earlier, you can see that we can scroll in the image part of this layout. Then let's go ahead and bring down the list. Give it a height
of 500 pixels because it's going to have more height than the parent container, which is why we added this scroll so that we can actually scroll. Then inside the list, we have the boxes. So the boxes are going to display grid because we want everything to be like a box. Grid template columns, which is going to repeat itself. Let me kind of open this to more. So it's going to repeat itself, but we want it to repeat with auto fit. With a minimum and maximum width of 100 pixels, and we give it a padding top of 1.2 m. Then we give it a box class for the box itself. Inside the boxes, that's exactly what you see here. So let me just go quickly and give it a height of 100 pixels, a margin of 0.2 m. Then let's go ahead and give a style for the image, the border radius of 1 m. So I think that's it for the CSS for now. So let's go ahead and save, and let's refresh, and you can see that our design has been properly beautified. So let's kind of give a margin top or a padding top at the top, because this kind of, so we are talking about the upload cover, which is having a padding of 15.5 pixels. Actually, this is supposed to come a little bit down, but I do not know why. One more thing we can actually add is the btn, the button itself. So let me just quickly do that. So beneath this, we have to add a div or a class name of send button. So just expand this a little bit, which is going to be using the bootstrap button, and it's going to have okay, let's just do it this way. It's going to have a text of send. Then we can just close it, and at the top we can now bring in the button. So we can just quickly import button from React Bootstrap. So let's save that and refresh. So whenever Next.js is refreshing, you can see something like this. So right now you can see we have everything beautified and everything looks properly arranged.